Even though we're sheltering, some things continue to follow their normal routines, and that means it's monarch time. In fact, several Northwest Arkansas residents swear they've seen a monarch since I started creating this presentation. In these times, it's nice to have something to look forward to. In that spirit, here's encouragement to look for those butterflies which lift our spirits and create in us awe. And in beginning that journey for this season, consider being a member of the citizen science community that provides scientists with invaluable data regarding the iconic species, the monarch butterfly. I'm Kitty Sanders, sometimes known as the Butterfly Nut. I thought people might find it fun to participate in the citizen science project called Journey North, since many have some time on their hands. I'm a monarch advocate, but I also think that citizen science is fun. It's also hugely important. I've participated in Journey North and some other projects for a while. This one is so easy that I wanted to share it with you. As we work through this, it'll be an experiment because I'm not there with you in person. I'm going to pause for a minute to allow you to read this slide. Citizen science has supplied data that scientists could never have the time or the finances to acquire. This slide shares some of the things that it has provided in the past and continues to provide. I don't understand presenting a PowerPoint and reading everything to you as if you can't read, so periodically I will pause to let you study the slide. Since this presentation focuses on migration, I wanted to share two projects that monitor it. Each provides the opportunity to report online through the computer or on your phone. There are a variety of other monarch projects, but I'm going to discuss Journey North. We'll provide sites and links that you see throughout this presentation. Here you see the two different phone applications that you can download. As with many other things on the internet, there are several ways to reach a destination. We'll start here with the home page. Arrow 1 shows the address for the site. Arrow 2 shows the home page, which is what we're looking at. Arrow 3 shows where you can register. You can actually hover on that, and it takes you straight to the page. The next slide will show you that. Arrow 4 shows you where you can just click and go straight in to report sightings. We'll look at this later. Having clicked on registration on the previous page, you are taken to this page, where again you will see a link taking you to the registration form. Once you register, you'll receive email updates, but as you see, you can unsubscribe from those. Back to the home page. I can click on View Maps to get an idea of what people have seen. That brings me to this page, where I can find specifically what I'm searching for. I want to know how far the monarchs have moved north, so I'll look for first monarchs. But I can find many things on this page. When I hover over a picture, it becomes clear and I can use it as a link. It takes me to this map, which has a color-coded legend to report when monarchs have been seen in different states. I can zoom in to get a clearer representation. From this drop-down, I can play around to see what else is available for viewing. I wanted to see what the closest reported sighting was, so I clicked on the dot and it brought up the information in the comment box. This presentation was in development before the monarchs arrived, so I was monitoring whether or not the milkweed was up. Researchers want that information too. Again, there are different ways to access the page you want. I'll go in this way to report the milkweed. To record the sighting, I can use this drop-down. For any of your sightings, you have the option of attaching a photo, but it is not required. This sad-looking monarch was the first I saw at BGO one year. Looking for eggs can be fun, and scientists want to know when you see the first ones of those, as well as others that you might find. So let's approach this another way for your future sightings. You've registered, and you just want to enter a record. If you haven't bookmarked the site, you can just type Journey North. The straightest path is to click on Monarch Butterflies on the right. You are taken to a page with wonderful information. There you can click on different things to read all sorts of articles, even letters from other monitors. Many wonder, why is there such a concern about the monarch? Are all these studies necessary? The decline has been widely reported, but the staggering numbers are not always emphasized. The news has recently reported a couple of very good years, but this map shows the big picture. The slideshow includes a link to a commentary by monarch researcher Karen Oberhauser. This link will be provided. She does a good job of explaining the overall decline. It has been common for people to blame the decline of the monarch on logging operations in Mexico, but that is only part of the story. There has been habitat loss in the United States as well, and many are concerned about the effects of climate change on monarch populations. Many people ask why there is so much emphasis on the monarch when we hear all the time about bee and other insect decline. There are a variety of reasons to study the iconic monarch. Let's talk for a moment about creating that beneficial habitat mentioned in the previous slide. As you probably know, butterflies and many other insects need specific foods during different stages of their life cycles. For monarchs, there must be milkweed. Caterpillars can only survive on plants in this family. Plants on which the female lays an egg and which the caterpillar must have are called host plants. These are the most commonly found milkweeds native to northwest Arkansas. According to monarch lovers, it's a good idea to sport several kinds of Asclepias. These are some other milkweeds native to our area. The green antelope horn is a smaller variety and blooms early. Sullivanti is an Oklahoma native. Lori Spencer, who wrote the Arkansas Butterfly book, says we should plant Asclepias in groups of 3, and suggests that we should have 3 clumps of 3 plants each. Adult monarchs rely on nectar plants. For most of these plants that will be shown, there are different varieties. Joe Pye weed and ironweed both bloom in the late summer. Purple coneflower draws all sorts of butterflies. Native tall phlox is a wonderful butterfly plant. On this particular plant, there is a tiger swallowtail, a pipevine, and a spicebush swallowtail. We have this plant for sale for the first time at the Native Plant Project. It is important in our area to plant for spring and fall, since Northwest Arkansas is in the migration flyway. On the left, we have the New England aster, but there are several asters that are very good for monarchs. On the right is Rose verbena, an early spring bloomer that has a long period of bloom. We have that for sale for the first time this year also. I'm told there are over 20 varieties of goldenrod in Arkansas. There are several which are smaller and useful in the home garden. Liatris varieties can bloom from summer into fall and draw all sorts of insects. I already mentioned the purple coneflower, but there are other echinacea. These are a prime example of why we should plant native. Some of the cultivars have been bred so that insects cannot reach the nectar. The doubles can present this problem. In fact, some seem not to have nectar at all. Let's get back to Journey North. This site has a lot of information that is valuable for education. The Journey North site is also a place where one can participate in or just study the migration of lots of different animals. Family education, including video clips, slideshows, and stories, can be found at Journey North Kids. There's nothing like capturing the imagination of children. I found this by using a search, and I just typed Journey North Kids. Another way to access the children's materials is to return to the home page. There, find an area of interest and click on it. You can see that when I chose the bald eagle, it took me to this page, and on the right there is a Kids tab, so I can go in there to access the materials. Not all the areas do have kids materials though. Going into the Eagle link, we can see some of the things that we can take a look at. The Aerial Acrobats allows you to look at several pictures in a slideshow that are just fascinating. I personally like to do the hummingbird migration and watch the birds all summer. So it's another way to participate in Journey North. Who doesn't love the bright orange flitting around your yard? Another migration studied by Journey North is that of the orioles. So you see, you can go through and find a number of different things that might pique your interest. So of course there's homework. I was a teacher. Go in and play around on the site. See what you can find that is interesting. Read some of the articles, some of the letters people have written, study the pictures, and share what you've discovered with others. If you have questions or even comments, feel free to send me an email. I hope you have fun with this. Here again are the two main websites we've talked about. We will also be sharing a document with other links. Now go out and see what you can find monarch related.